Before my story even began, there was my mom. She was a single parent for a few years before she met my stepdad, the man I now call Dad. I don't remember much from that time. I was too little to notice the exhaustion, the late nights, or the quiet tears she probably cried when no one was watching. What I do remember, though, is how she always seemed to have help. Her sister, my aunt, was always around, and my grandparents, they were the backbone of everything. They helped with daycare, picked us up after school, cooked dinner when my mom had late shifts, and made sure we never felt the cracks in our little family. When I look back now, I realize she built her own version of stability. It just didn't look like everyone else's. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. And somehow that small circle of love was enough. When I was 2, everything changed. Mom met a man, kind, patient. The kind who didn't try to replace anyone, but still managed to fill the role completely. When they got married, she came up with this rule: Dad only days. On those days, if my brother or I asked her for something, she'd smile and say, "Ask Dad." No exceptions. At first, it felt weird. I mean, here was this new person being handed authority like a sudden promotion. But it worked. Those dad-only days turned into bonding days, ice cream trips, movie nights, backyard picnics, goofy car rides with the windows down. He wasn't our biological father, but he became Dad in every way that mattered. And honestly, we became one of those families that people looked at and said, "Wow, you guys are so lucky." We were traditional in our own way. Laughter at dinner, family road trips, Sunday mornings that smelled like pancakes and coffee. You wouldn't have guessed my brother and I had different fathers. Not until that awkward last name conversation popped up at school one day, and I had to explain it. But even then, it didn't change a thing, because home was home, and love was love. Fast forward a couple of decades, and I found myself walking a strangely familiar path. Like my mom, I fell in love young. We had dreams, plans, late-night talks about the future. Everything you expect when you think you've found the one. And when we had our first child, I thought we were building something solid. Then came the second child, and I thought, this is it. My family is complete. But you know what they say? Sometimes people don't leave all at once. Sometimes they fade away little by little. A missed call here. A forgotten promise there. Until one day the silence is louder than any fight you ever had. That's what happened to me. He started showing up less, making excuses more. Eventually he just stopped being around. No big fight, no closure. Just a slow ghosting that left me holding 2 kids and a pile of unanswered questions. He still pops up occasionally, usually unannounced, at the most inconvenient times. And every time he does, I feel that same pit in my stomach, a mix of anger, sadness, and this tiny flicker of hope that I've learned to put out fast, because hope is heavy when it's not real. When he left, it wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Quiet in a way that made it hurt even more. There were nights when I'd stay up after putting the kids to bed, just staring at the ceiling, wondering what I'd done wrong. I'd scroll through old photos, watch videos of the kids laughing with their dad, and I'd cry quietly so no one would hear. Single motherhood wasn't the plan, but neither was heartbreak. The first few months were rough. Money was tight. Sleep was non-existent. Every time I saw another couple doing family things, it stung a little, not because I missed him, but because I miss the idea of what we could have been. But life somehow has this strange way of rebuilding itself when you're not looking. Just like my mom years ago, my parents stepped up in ways I never expected. When I couldn't afford daycare for a few days, they covered it. When I had a job interview but no babysitter, my mom called in sick just to watch the kids. And then there was Grandma Wednesday. Every Wednesday, my kids spend the day with my parents. They bake cookies, do crafts, play games, and come home with stories that make me laugh until I cry. It became a tradition, something that reminded me that I wasn't alone, no matter how much it felt that way sometimes. My parents didn't make me feel like a burden. They made me feel like family, the same way my mom's parents did for her all those years ago. And that's when I realized something. This wasn't just history repeating itself. It was love continuing its legacy. As time went on, I stopped waiting for my ex to come back, stopped wondering why, stopped checking my phone every few hours, hoping for a text that never came. And when I finally let go, really let go, something amazing happened. My house started to feel like a home again. It's quieter now, but it's the kind of quiet that feels peaceful, not lonely. There's laughter during breakfast, tiny footsteps running down the hallway, cartoons playing too loud on Saturday mornings, and this deep, unshakable calm that fills every room. For the first time in years, I feel safe, not because someone else is protecting me, but because I finally learned how to protect myself. I stopped comparing my life to what I thought it should be, stopped worrying about the kind of family people expect me to have, and started appreciating the one I actually do. My kids are happy. They're loved. They have grandparents who spoil them, a mom who's finally learning balance, and a home full of laughter and warmth. And as much as I once believed I needed a man to complete that picture, I don't anymore, because I already have everything that matters. Sometimes late at night when the kids are asleep, I think about my mom, how she probably had the same doubts, the same fears, the same long nights. And I realize she didn't just survive single motherhood. She built a foundation strong enough for me to stand on. Now I'm doing the same for my kids. Maybe I won't find a partner like she did, and that's okay. Because peace is better than pretending. Happiness is better than chaos. And love, real love, doesn't have to come from romance. Sometimes love looks like Grandma Wednesday. Sometimes it's bedtime stories or quiet dinners, or dancing in the kitchen after a long day. And sometimes love looks like choosing yourself. If you told me a few years ago that I'd end up a single mom, I probably would have laughed or cried. But now I see it differently. Being single doesn't mean I'm broken. It means I had the strength to walk away from something that wasn't working. It means I'm raising my kids in peace instead of chaos. It means my home is filled with love, even if it doesn't look traditional. And honestly, I wouldn't trade that for anything. Because sometimes the best thing you can do for your kids and for yourself is to stop chasing the idea of a perfect life and start living the real one. So yeah, I'm a single mom, but I'm also happy. And for the first time in a long time, that's more than enough. Maybe this isn't the story I planned for myself, but it's the one I'm proud to live.